Hello all, welcome to my video presentation about my project. So my name is Akhilesh Paranivelu. I'm going to give a presentation on CA for cloud platform programming, and I'm basically from National College of Ireland doing my Master of Science in Cloud Computing. So the main part of this, I've done a project called Farmer Data Portal, also called as Farmer Management System. It's basically a CRUD application where I can actually do the CRUD-based applications in the system. So the main part of the project is like we can add a farmer, and then the farmer will be added in the form of a table. And then after that, we can actually like even delete it and also update the information. The main focus on the project is for instances, some farmers in villages, if they really wanted to sell their crop, what they can do is that they just need to travel all the way and then do it. But here it's like a firm which can keep track of all the farmers' information. Where if a farmer is logging in with his information will be added inside, and it will be part of an inventory system which provides a proper farmer information as well as the crop management to make sure that these data will be transferred directly to the seller or directly to the seller, like data can be helped to keep track of each and every farmer information for a seller so that like the farmer can either sell the crop or also like he can keep track of he can update information either he's working onto it or he's not working onto it. So this is how the application works. So the main part of the application is it's the implementations are done using HTML, CSS, and the main part of backend is used by Python, Django. And other than that, apart from this, there are also 5 cloud services which have been implemented for this project. That comes with the first one would be SNS, the second one would be RDS, the third one would be Lambda, followed by the API gateway, and then after that, the fifth one would be the S3. And the implementation, that is the deployment has been deployed to EC2 instance. So before we go for the further presentation, I would just give you a walkthrough in my coding, whatever I've done. Then after that's done, I will show you my application, giving a walkthrough how the pages are working, and then how the cloud services are working as well. So let me just go first to my code. So in my code, there's something called views.py. So in views.py, I've just implemented all the backend information, but here, the name I've used it as employee instead of farmer. So it's called as employee name. ID would be the farmer's age. Phone would be the contact number, the address, the working status, either he's working or not, and department would be the crop that he wanted to yield or he wanted to produce or sell. And the second part is this completely goes with the backend of the application, which also interconnected with the cloud services. I will just give an explanation soon. So this would be the nav bar, this would be the login users information along with the API calls also used over here. So main part is like add EMP is also called as add farmer. So where you can add the farmer by using I used API calls over here where it will add the farmer. Then after that, I've called a method called delete to delete the farmer information and update for update farmer information. And front end comes with the farmer's UI, which has been used HTML followed by inline CSS rather than the separate CSS along with the Bootstrap. Bootstrap actually provides a better design and makes the page more responsive. There's also a Bootstrap document where we can refer to get with the uh, designs or that we really wanted to use. Other than that, I've used different set of classes called diff class to create the registration page where add employee comes with. Home page is like just a static page with the title and followed by an image, which comes with the home page. And the other login page comes with the login information, for the authorization and followed by the registration, which comes with the static registration page where we used block content, which extends the base HTML file, which is called as the login file. And other than that, I do have something called update for updating the information, which follows with the same add employee functionality. And the other beautiful part of Django is that it does have its own SQL database called MySQLite, but I've used MySQL in this project to migrate the database, where Python Django usually automates the database, which I've also used RDS called Relational Database um, Service. So here, let me just show you how I've implemented the cloud services programmatically. So the first thing I would like to go with RDS service where under the database, I've just configured the database with the engine name called MySQL since I've used MySQL with RDS. And the name of the farmer, the admin, the password, and the host would be the link that being generated via the RDS, and also the port number would be the default port number. So once this is being implemented over the settings.py under the databases, what will happen is like the RDS will usually automate and migrate a MySQL database. For just to make it more precise, what will happen is that suppose if I'm using any external application like MySQL Connect, if I use my password, username, and the port address, if I connect it, the entire database will be migrated automatically with the help of RDS. And the second service that I've used was SNS. So SNS, what I've done is like I've just called a method, a function. Before that, I just need to like just for the references. For SNS, we just need the Boto3. So I've imported Boto3 over here, followed by the region name, the access key ID, secret access key, and session token. These three are the most important part in SNS because like these three parts usually they change every 4 hours once, so we have to keep on changing that. That would be one drawback of the SNS. But another advantage of SNS is that I've implemented under the add employee, which is called add farmers. Suppose if I'm adding a farmer over here, another, yeah, the publish function. So if I'm adding a farmer over here, once it's been added, the SNS is called simple notification service, which will generate a notification directly to me where I will be able to get the information about the new farmer added. That is, new employee means new farmer added. So I'll be getting as a notification. That is where SNS plays a major role over here. The second part I've used is like called Lambda function. So for Lambda function, I've just implemented Lambda for the serverless communication, where Lambda function has been called in the form of handler along with the S3 buckets. So, Lambda acts as a serverless communication which implements the key triggering to API gateway, where my API calls will be just like um, getting implemented automated via the API gateway, which stores the information. That is, suppose if a Lambda has been called, it communicates, it triggers from the API gateway, and then it directly sends to the S3 bucket. So S3 bucket is also another function that I've used programmatically, calling with a function name called, let me just show you that, upload to S3, where suppose if the same as like SNS, if a new employee, that is a farmer, has been added, the new information would be stored in S3 as a form of text file. Because to make sure the data is more secured and to detect the transparency of the data. For example, if any sensitive data has been entered over there, that can be stored in S3 very safe way. Other than that, like this would be the cloud services I've used. And let me just give a walkthrough of my application. Um, this would be my application. So here, this will be the nav bar and followed by the welcome to the farmer data portal. If I just, let me just show you the registration page. This has a registration page by giving the username, first name, last name, email, password, and confirm password, which is used by the means of basic HTML and CSS. But the thing is that I've also used some user validations where if I'm suppose entering which is less than 150 characters, I'll be popped with an error like if I'm just entering it as DDD. It just shows like, let me just mention it. So I will be popped up with different errors, like the validation showing that this is not the right one, this is not the wrong, this an error will be popping that I need to follow the criteria over here. So for registration page, this one have used. And let's go to the login page. In login page, suppose I'm sorry for the play. There's a placeholder issue over here, but meanwhile, let me just show you. I'm just gonna enter it as Akhil 1998, where I've already created, and I'm gonna give a password which I've already created. So, so once it logs in, it directly gives a pop-up showing that I've been successfully logged in, and this would be my just a simple farmer management system with an image over here, where I've just it's a GIF image which is implemented. And now I'm just going to add a farmer. So to add a farmer, I'm just giving a name as these are my other information which has been stored over here. Let me just enter a name. I'm just going to enter a name called Chris, and I'm giving his age as 32, and his phone number would be, I'm just giving something, and I'm just giving an address called, let me just give a place called um, Wicklow, Dublin, Ireland. And I can either give the working status. So this farmer has wanted to produce his groundnut, or he's ready to sell that. So working status, he's finished it. So if he finished it, or let me just give he's in the working status to make sure that he's about to sell the sugarcane crop. So if I just click on add farmer, the next instant is like it directly navigates towards the view table. So view table is like just to show the collection of tables. These are the tests that I've just done over here. So Chris has been added over here, and the other beautiful part is like since SNS has been implemented, I just got a mobile notification, but let me just show in person. If I just go to Outlook, I would have received a notification stating that it's taking a while than expected. I'm sorry, there's some issue with the Outlook, it seems. Yeah, now it should work. So now my information is getting stored over here where the new employee called the new farmer has been added called Chris. His age is 32, his phone number, his address, and department. That is, what is he supposed to be selling or yielding? It's sugarcane. The next instant is like, suppose if I'm even updating this information stating that he's not working, he's finished. So he wanted to go with the sugarcane and he's working with that. If I'm just giving an update farmer, uh, I just got a notification stating that information has been updated, which shows, yeah, the information has been updated over here. So this is how the update functionality works along with SNS. But if I delete it, I haven't configured to get a notification for deletion. Meanwhile, this is how the functionality works for my farmer table, which has the name, age, phone, status field, and address. And but in the code, I've just implemented it as employee, which is called as EMP. Other than that, this is how SNS works. And then another beautiful part is that in EC, I'm sorry, um, if I just go to my Lambda, I've just implemented the Lambda function over here alongside with the key triggering of API gateway, where it just sends the data to S3. So suppose if I'm opening the S3 over here, the new data which I have just modified, which I've just created over here called Chris. Let's just take an instance that Chris would be a sensitive data. So I'm just gonna go and click over my bucket. So this would be my bucket which I've created previously, and it's stored in the form of sample file in the text format. If I click on download, if I go inside the file, now you can see the Chris, where employee ID is called age, which is 32. Phone number is here. Address is Wicklow, Dublin. Working status, I've just mentioned it as on. It is on. And sugarcane. So this is how S3 bucket usually stores inside. And another interesting part is that I've used another cloud service called EC2 instance to deploy my application in real time. But I just wanted to tell you that there is some issue because there is the main part is like In EC2 instance, whatever the changes that I'm doing for the SNS, I just need to change the access ID and the token every 4 hours once, but it's not getting properly added over there. But meanwhile, let me just give you in EC2 instance, what I can do is that it's the beautiful part in EC2 instance is like suppose if I'm just using my code in the Git, I can make the changes over there. If I'm doing any changes, it will be directly affected over here. Then after that, I can just directly run my code over here, where it runs over the server called 54.171.101.0, which is a public IPv4 address alongside with 8000 would be the port number. And the only issue that I can show you here is that suppose if I'm just adding an information called John, his age is like 27, and that's the contact number, Dublin and Rice. If I'm going over here, I might be getting a client error because of the access token and ID is not getting updated properly in the real time. But if I just go back, if I just click on view table, the information will be added over here. That's just a small bug which I'm encountering because of the SNS token, which is not properly implemented over the real time. But in the locally, it's working fine. Other than that, if you just wanted to update the data, you can update the data, you can delete the data, but all the data is already migrated in RDS. You don't need to worry about we don't need to worry about the database, but only the SNS is the part. Other than that, the S3 bucket will also be working. So this is how the real time has been there. But for future implementation, I just wanted to mainly focus on enhancing the application more. And then after that, like to make it more responsive and adding many UI elements over there, followed by just like making some corrections, whatever the mistakes that I've done for S in this, and also try to deploy it via the Elastic Beanstalk. Previously, I tried attempting to do it with Elastic Beanstalk, but I was encountering the error, so that's why I just went with EC2 instance, which is quite easy, and I've used my own credentials for that. And other than that, there's another part I would just forgot to mention about is called library. So here what I've done is like my main functionality comes with SNS. So for SNS, what I can do is that I just took the functions of SNS with the Auto3 and the do update employee and everything has been mentioned over here. So what I can do is that I can use this library as a reusable component. If suppose someone is wanted to use this as a part of implementation, this can be a reusable component and also acts as a library. So here, SNS library.py has been created over here with SNS functionality. Suppose if I go to views.py, I've just imported the function. So where I don't need this configuration to be mentioned over here. Just the functions are more than enough. Since like from SNS library, I've imported the functions and everything. So SNS topic ARN is like a unique code. If you just create an SNS and the subscription, you will be generated with the ARN. ARN is the only way like how an SNS can be accessed. So, as I've told you previously, the future implementation is like I would like to make more responsive and add more features into it. But currently, whatever the efforts that I've done so far is being turned out to be well, but some small bugs are there. But I'll make sure that these bugs will be fixed accordingly and no issues will be encountered in the future to make sure the application will be more better in terms of every aspects of functionality and everything. So. Hope you have enjoyed my presentation and this application is mainly dedicated to all the farmers out here. So thank you so much all and hope you have a great day. Thank you so much and bye-bye.